Good morning and welcome to Herb Oracle Podcast, botanical divination with herbs, essences, flowers, and trees with your host, Herbal Marie. Let's start the day off pulling some oracle cards and getting a few messages. We can shoot the shiitake in a spiritual way-ish. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post a pic of the cards at Herb Oracle. Thanks so much for joining me. Here we go. Hey y'all, witches, bitches, and hoes. Welcome back to Herb Oracle after another long hiatus. I'm getting really good at taking those, like superbly fantastic. So good that I hesitate to publish this in real time until I have like a week's worth, because I'm sure you're sick AF of me starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping. Like, good Lord, Queen Ho, get it together. Let's go. So it's October, like October is here. That means August and September happened. And you weren't in my life. Along with a lot of other people, not in my life any longer. The air is changing. Life changed. Life circled back. Life offered me one thing and then said, nah, you don't want that. Life made me look at things in different perspectives. Life made me give second chances. Life made me realize that most of the strife I cause in my life is literally my fault. So I have been realizing, and I'm still realizing, so much about me, little me, as I become my bigger me, and still the herbs are with me. So I love it, love it, love it. I felt the urge to come back. It's October, feeling that witchiness like all around me, and I think to myself, it's time to come back. I wonder what herb is it? Like, is it right to come back? Does it feel right? I look on my list because I have like my whole life planned out and notebooks and shit, and the herb of the week planned next, I kid you not, is catnip. And there's all these witchy cats and catnip and the color purple on all these cards, and it just seems like such a good herb to start October. I think October actually is like rolling along fairly well, like, but whatever, I'm like moving slow. And the other thing that I thought was cool is we've been powering up certain aspects of our life. And what we're going to power up this week is knowing, belief, and miracles, which also completely goes with some other synchronistic aspects of my life. Like, I've been reading these books by Paul Selig called I Am Word, and it's all about knowing that you are who you are. So big message and theme for me about belief, and of course miracles. I'm trying to get back to my studies and A Course in Miracles. I'm like on the lesson 109. Of course, as you know, is 365 lessons. So come on, girl, let's go. I just feel like pause has been pushed long enough in my life, and it's time to get back. So catnip is here this week. We've got 4 really cool cards. One's just a single affirmation card that says, I appreciate everything about this moment. I love life. And sometimes that's hard to do because life sucks a big one. And, you know, you are caught up in the ego's world, and you're caught up in this drama and that drama, and, you know, you attract narcissists who try to ruin your life and blah, blah, blah. There are lots of excuses to step away from appreciation, and your ego supports you in doing that. It says, you're right, you have every reason to hate your life and everybody and be pissed and bitter and just, you know, really feel entitled to feeling shitty. But catnip is saying, could you just appreciate everything about this moment anyways? Like the challenge of all challenges. So we've got this message of appreciation coming in. loving life. Catnip is very calming and relaxing. It's going to help us keep centered, keep to the truth, and mentally stay lighthearted. It has a lot to do with the throat chakra. Speaking of the throat chakra, September blinked by in a flippin' blur for me because I got pretty darn sick, and my throat certainly felt the wrath of the COVID. Oh yeah, I got it. Thank God too. I was kind of hoping to get it at some point. I had a big old fat headache for the whole month, and I watched a lot of movies. So anyways, that's why September flew by. August flew by before that, because after, having like a 20 whatever day break from my one lover, thinking that was over, totally met up with him synchronistically again, and we hit it off in such a huge way. And so that is a big, big part of my life now, 2 months later. I'll try to update you through the week about that. And that made August go by fast. Sickness, being taught lessons by viruses, made September go fast. And October's cruising by too. So I was like, holy smokes, girl, are you going to get back to hoe or what? Because we have a bond. And that is one of the cards of Catnip from the Witch's Kitchen. It's going to talk to us about bonds. Once you establish a relationship, it's always eternal. That can be judged as a good or bad thing. But yeah, you and I, we have a bond. And you're like, how can that be? We've never even had a cup of tea. And I'm like, I know, but that's just the way energy works. So like, I have to come back for you. I have to come back for me. You are me. I am you. Like, we're in it to win it. And then another card that we're going to talk about Catnip today is from the Plant Spirit Oracle. And it's all about opposites, separation, contrast. And I like exploring those topics as well, because it's the contrast in our life that helps us feel appreciation sometimes, separation, sometimes it's needed to help us find our truth. Opposites certainly do attract. On this card, there's two opposite cats, but it's kind of actually cool because like one cat is the catnip plant, and then the other cat is like its more solid reflection. So 3 out of 4 cards actually have cats on them. There's a black cat in the kitchen. There's a sleeping cat on the Herbal Tarot, the Iha of air. So we're going to have tons and tons and tons of nuggets of delicious catnip gold for us to learn and talk about. And anyways, yeah, I'm glad to be back, I guess. So that's why I sound so fucking enthused. All right, on that note, here's Catnip. Okay, let's do this, man. So the Plant Spirit Oracle by Dana O'Driscoll has the cats, the mirror cats, and I love how the cat is the catnip plant. Like the stem grows in the base, and they're kind of sitting there, each putting a pause and seeing their mirror reflection towards each other. And the keywords are opposite, separation, and contrast. And the flowers look kind of cute and purplish. Mine were always more whitish whenever I would grow it. But anyways, catnip is very popular and classic for getting cats drunk. It's best known as an herb that intoxicates cats, yet few realize it is a powerful medicinal herb for humans as well. So Nepeta cataria. You can sometimes find it growing wild. If you put it in your garden like mine, it really went everywhere, got so big. It's really soft leaves, kind of a little stinky, but I loved it. It's in the mint family. It has a square stem. It has soft scalloped leaves that grow on opposite sides of the stem with small purplish pink flowers. So yeah, the aroma is skunky. That's a good word to describe it. Very skunky. But yeah, like I kind of dig it. I don't know. Anyways, that skunky aroma often indicates that the plants have sedative qualities. Kind of think like valerian, it's kind of skunky and it helps you hopefully relax. So if you can't find catnip in the wild, it's very easy to grow. Although you may have to prevent your cats and every other cat in the neighborhood from rolling in it, eating it, and maiming the plants. Like they literally can't keep their paws off of it. So yeah, it does have very calming and sedative properties. It calms you down, it's relaxing. So you could actually make a tea with it. You could make a tincture with it. One time I've seen like a honey made with it, with the flowers, I thought. Yeah, you can chew it up. I think Susan Weed, I almost want to say she makes a catnip pesto. Yeah, like pesto. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure she does. You can roll in it like a cat if you want. But yeah, you can make a tea, an herbal nervine tea. It does actually have a nice flavor. It's good to mix with other calming herbs. It's wonderfully cooling on a hot day. And this would also be a good tea to use if you have a nervous stomach, tension, just really kind of, uptight a little bit. So they suggest here in this book to make an herbal nervine tea using 2 teaspoons of peppermint, 2 teaspoons of catnip, a tablespoon of chamomile, and then just 8 ounces of boiling water and let it steep for 10 minutes. Remove the lid, strain. You can drink it hot, warm, or iced cold. So yeah, pairing up that catnip with some peppermint and some chamomile. I would have also thought, like, especially in the summer, like in your garden, you might have lemon balm. I mean, that might be something. It might be the lemon balm may or may not complement the skunkiness, but peppermint certainly covers it, and chamomile would help the relaxing too. Peppermint, catnip, and chamomile, that would definitely calm any upset stomach or nervousness. So make yourself a tea. All right, so let's dive into Catnip, who wants to talk about opposites and separation and contrast. That really vibes with me because I have been exploring very, very, very widened aspects of myself to the point where they are so distant and opposite. Like, how can I go from like 1 minute, like just not even wanting to be on this planet anymore, then like there's another aspect of me who could be really appreciative and joyful and happy and light and not even affected by the drama of the world at all. So yeah, like sometimes you have these opposite aspects within you, and it's kind of an interesting thing. So the divination message for contrast, that's one of the words, opposites, separation, and contrast. The contrast in our life. Think about a time when you were in the darkness and then suddenly someone turned on a light. Like the room could seem too bright, your eyes needed time to adjust. The darkness in some way accentuated the light. This is the power of contrast. Contrast allows us to see things clearly because they are opposite of what we see, think, or feel. So if you've had contrast in your life, like, oh, a whole year of life sucking ass, well, that really is going to make the good times seem so much more joyful and happy. It's like, oh, you don't know what you got till you lose it. Kind of like that. That's contrast for sure. So when you think of like your dark night of the soul, or when you've explored some shadow aspects or some inner trauma or whatever, these things give you contrast. When somebody treats you how you don't like, then it's a good contrast to what you do like. The contrast, like I don't know, you play around with this in decorating all the time, you know, or maybe what you wear in clothing with colors and lights, but it can also apply to vibration and feeling and experiences and perspectives. The power of contrast. Contrast allows us to see things clearly because they are opposite of what we see, think, and feel. So if you are wearing a black necklace on a black shirt, you're not going to be able to see it. But if you would change your shirt to white or something light, you're going to see that black necklace. It's contrast. It's actually can be very, very beneficial. So this card indicates contrasts of all kind. Some may be very positive, some very negative. It might be that you need the contrast to better understand or appreciate what you have. In other words, we cannot appreciate the light without also having experienced the darkness. And you think, oh God, but apparently that's what Earth is really good for. Coming here into duality to experience contrast. Like on some level, our soul is pretty interested in that. And yes, we have these themes running through our life all the time. So this card could also be talking about opposites. So in the card that we're looking at, the spirit of Catnip is coming to greet the cat who is seeking her medicine. This card indicates that the situation may be influenced by things that are opposite. These opposites may be complementary to each other, like yin and yang, or they may be in unhealthy opposition. So really, like, you only know if the opposite is like working in the positively attractive way, or if it's just like throwing a wrench in a wheel type of opposite feeling. But I like this card because it's like we can apply it to ourselves personally. Now, there is also the key word at the bottom of this card. It says separation, and it might indicate a need for separation from a situation, a place, a person. So you don't have to keep enduring contrast or opposites of what you want. You know, you don't have to suffer. You don't have to stay in any bad situations. Like, you got to know when to separate from situations and places and people. Sometimes a bit of a distance, even temporarily, can help you clear your head, allow you to see a problem from different angles, or regain your composure. So it's like, yeah, catnip is good. It's like, hey, let's chill out for a minute. Let's roll around the catnip. Let's take a little time. Maybe we can regain our composure then after we go crazy on the catnip. Think about how crazy a cat can get. They're like, I just needed to go crazy, man. So catnip is a first-rate medicinal herb that is a gentle nervine. It has very light sedative effects. It's gentle for children. It can help calm the nerves. It can help bring an anxious person into a calmer place. It also has very strong calming effects on the entire digestive system. So if you just are like feeling spastic stomach, gassy, life has got you twisted up, you're just like gassy and nauseous because of being put into situations that you would like to distance yourself from, but right now you can't, and it's just wrecking you. Catnip would be very useful for you, and also for people whose stress response is an upset stomach or gastrointestinal issues. So if when you get stressed out, you feel it in your gut, catnip is definitely an herb for you to look into. All right, so catnip is here. I love the picture on the Iha of Air. It's our tarot card from the Herb Crafters Tarot. I think I said Herbal Tarot before. Sorry about that. I am so rusty at being a hoe here, It's just crazy. Like, I can see how people quit projects and never go back. I really can. So even if I just sort of suck at being the old me, I feel like I have to come and finish in whatever way that I can, because I owe it to myself, and I owe it to the herbs, and I owe it to all the lovely witches and bitches that I got hooked on Ho. So yeah, it's like you got to just keep coming back, even if it's like you've got to just know when something's good for you. And yeah, I believe in miracles. I do. I just can't stop believing in miracles. Like, I really do hope that everything kind of figures itself out in my life. All right. I'm so potentially capable of going off on a crazy mumbly jumbly tangent. I'm recording in a new space now. Like, I'm not sitting in front of a window looking out of a tree. I'm now like basically in a walk-in closet because that's just like where it's easiest to put my desk now. So yeah, I'm just sort of like acclimating to my new space, this new experience. And that's actually what the Iha of air is going to encourage us to do with this cat taking a little nappy nap under the catnip. And then you see the hands of the Iha, of the daughter, coming in, maybe to tease the cat. But this card, the Iha of air, the daughter of air, is all about returning to beginner's mind. First thought, best thought. And then also make mischief with a sleeping cat. So return to a beginner's mind. You know, I could return to Ho being like, yo, bitches, what's up? Like, I've been here and done that. I know everything. Here I am, blah, blah, blah. But this time around, I'm kind of like creeping up cautiously to you. Do you feel that? Like, I've been away. I've been away now for 2 months. Again, sorry about that. And, yeah, like, it's just, I'm a little leery of like being accepted. You know, it's like you're creeping up to the tiger, the lion, you're the lion. And like, I'm just like, hey, is it cool? I'm kind of like waiting to see if I personally follow through and if I can do it still. And I don't know, it's just kind of like a weird energy that I'm in right now, but it's definitely a beginner's energy. And I think it's good to not think that you know everything, because every time I think I know everything, the universe proves me wrong or shows me a different perspective, or is like, oh, what about this? Or, hey, what would you do if your life fell apart again? Or, you know, it's like, I don't ever want to claim to be an expert in anything. I was going to say not even myself, but like it would be nice to be an expert of myself at least. All right, do you want to hear about this card? The sky is clear and blue. It's a bright spring day. We're looking at a garden with sage, lemon balm, catnip, California poppy. A cat slumbers, barely noticeable in the catnip. The soft, pungent herb curves around the cat's head like a wild green mane. A little girl plucks a sprig of catnip in her right hand and gleefully reaches toward the sleeping animal. So yeah, whether she's going to tickle the cat or whatever, a little mischief with the sleeping cat. The Iha of air invites everything to be her teacher. She observes the cat and playfully follows her into the catnip. Like this herb that grows wild through the garden, she lets the world around her inform the direction she takes. She approaches learning with the innocence of a child. She may revisit a well-known subject with the curiosity of a beginner. Just as catnip settles emotions with its refreshing medicine, she sets her feelings aside and communicates her observations and questions clearly. So basically, the Iha of air and catnip are saying to us to try something new. Try something new, or revisit something again, but this time like you're a beginner, like you have curiosity, like, yeah, like what can I learn this time? What can you teach me? So definitely try growing catnip in your garden or a window pot. It would totally flourish in a pot on the porch, absolutely. Crafting with the Iha of air could also include performing a tea ritual with catnip before a meditation to return to the beginner's mind. There's a lot of benefit in emptying out, becoming clear, releasing assumptions, releasing even maybe to the point of needing to know anything right now. Just literally clear it out, clear it out, clear it out, and then see what the universe has on tap to teach you. Another idea is strengthen the psychic bond between you and your familiars. Maybe craft a catnip mouse, maybe connect with feline energy. Right now I'm just sort of like questioning within my own self how I've never really liked cats so much in my adult life. Maybe as a kid I liked cats. I think I liked everything as a kid. But then like as I got older, I did not like cats. I think what happened was like when I was 18 or 19, I had the experience of having a cat that was in heat, and she was like such a sleazy slut, being like, somebody fuck me, and she was in heat, and I was so annoyed with her, and then I kicked her out, and then she got pregnant, and then like, I don't know. Like after that, like I was like, oh God, I don't know if I can handle cats. And then a couple years later, a little kitten gave me ringworm, and then I started like becoming kind of sneezy at them a little bit. And I didn't like litter boxes, and then I got pregnant, and then cats seemed filthy. And then since having kids, like I've never wanted a cat in the house. Like not one part of me ever wants to room with a cat again. But anyways, I often have wondered like why they offended me so much. Like what were they mirroring back to me? You know, that like I rejected and didn't accept. What was it about them that I didn't like? Were they so fiercely independent? You know, cats really don't give a fuck what you think. Like I love that, but like it annoyed me whenever I wanted them to listen to me. So if you want an animal that listens to you, don't get a cat, get a dog, and hopefully the dog will. But anyways, like there was just always something, and then like, you know, did you ever think about like cat-like extraterrestrials? Like maybe I have a little galactic history there. Anyways, I did meet a cat about a week or two ago, and I liked him for a little while, and then he clawed my leg up, and I was like, all right, fine. So anyways, still definitely working with cat energy on some level, because, you know, anything that triggers you, you're definitely working with that energy, whether you want to or not. And if you're like really like against something, you really want to look at maybe why. So why is that? Just something for me to think about. All right, so anyways, catnip, Nepeta cataria. Any questions? So I really like the part of that Iha of air when it said that the Iha sets her feelings aside and just observes and, you know, watches. And I'm thinking that is such good advice for my own personal life right now, and maybe you and maybe everybody. But like sometimes you really do have to just watch your life as if it were a movie, and not let yourself get so uppity up in it and tormented by it and down with it. And it's like, if you can just watch it for what it is and watch it play out without really attaching and getting your energy like stolen by anything, maybe you can just like appreciate the contrast, and you can appreciate the movie for being the movie. All right, so cruising along. We are here at the Witch's Kitchen. So really cool card here. There's like a catnip mouse. There's good photo of the leaf. And I'm not sure what all the spriggy grass is. Grassy looking stuff. That I don't know what's going on. But they have a good picture of the buds and the flowers. And there is a black cat, of course. And this has a message of bond. So Catnip says, cats go crazy for my smell. A pinch of me will seal the spell. Friendships formed, lovers unite. A bond secured, amor tonight. This magic is worked with harm to none. So mote it be. There it is done. So yeah, the bonds that we share with people, hopefully it's positive, but I feel like Catnip also wants to say it could be opposite of what you think you want, but yet you're still bonded. Like when you think about the person that you hate the most in this world, you are actually like so strongly bonded to that mother trucker through your strong emotion of hatred. Like, you don't want to be connected to them, but you are. You might actually be more bonded to that enemy than your lover, because even though it's negative, you feel more strongly against that person than you do about the people that you like. It just evokes that strength of feeling, you know? So that creates a bond. Now, this card says the bond you share with another is special and your unity is strong. It is a relationship you can trust in, for the pledge you have made will not be broken. So if you get this card in a reading and you're like asking about your lover, it's a good card to get for sure. But I just feel like the whole energy of our botanical friend Catnip wants to just remind us that bonds can happen in opposite direction with lots of contrast. Even in separation, you can still be bonded. And now whether that's positive or negative depends upon your circumstance. So if you've pledged to another, though, know that it is strong. If you are looking to secure a relationship, then allow me to draw it to you. So here's a little magic you can do. Warm my leaves in your hand, then hold the hand of whom you wish to befriend. Store my leaves carefully to maintain the friendship and seal the bond. So yeah, you know, just randomly have a catnip leaf in your hand and then hold the hand of your lover or person you want to be friends with. And if they don't mind you holding their hand while also holding a catnip leaf, I would say that's a good friend for sure. For just as a cat finds me irresistible, so too will your intended if you add me as an ingredient in a love spell. So if you're doing other spell work, you can bring in catnip, sprinkle catnip in the four corners of your bedroom to attract a new lover, or under the bed for a night of passion. For catnip is an aphrodisiac. Feline magic surrounds you when this card appears and indicates that you have a psychic bond with your familiar. As you communicate silently through the heart center, an understanding flows between you, birthing a magical partnership. So yeah, whether it's a cat or a dog or whatever your familiar is, of course we have to sort of feature cats this week because it's catnip, you know, but I know with hanging out with a dog lately, you can really communicate a lot without saying anything. It's very interesting. All right, so let's get a little nerdy with catnip here because we want to know all the good things that we can do with it. You can make a poultice, like literally grow this and finely chop some fresh catnip leaves, grind them into a pulp. You could use a mortar and pestle or a blender. And you're going to spread this plant mush all over the area needing a treatment. Now, you could use it for swelling from rheumatism, if you had a soft tissue injury, some skin inflammation, you can put it on, wrap with gauze or muslin to hold the poultice in place. And then once it's dried out, you remove it and you can apply a fresh batch if required. So if your joints and elbows and knees are hurting real bad, maybe try it out. We can get a little more nerdy with it too, because I grabbed the Herbal Marie folder. I did do a Catnip podcast. I should re-promote that. Check it out. You can learn all the na because Herbal Marie already did that for us. Thank you. But just know that it's been used for a real long time. The ancient Romans used catnip for skin ailments, piles, fever, sedation. The Cherokee used it as a strengthening tonic and a poultice like we just talked about. And there is a legend of a hangman, yeah, you heard me, a hangman who self-medicated with catnip to help him do his job easier. Yeah, hanging people all day. You think your job is tough and draining? Think about literally having to kill people all day. So anyways, it's been useful for a lot of people, but yeah, I definitely say like cats love it the most with its intoxicating effects. Holy crap, you guys. Well, I peeked in my nerdy folder. It is good for so much, like fevers, indigestion, insomnia, cramps, diarrhea, all this kind of things. You can make teas with it. There is a recipe with lemon balm and fennel and catnip for indigestion. Like, it's amazing. So I'm going to link in the description somewhere to the Herbal Marie nerdy podcast, Catnip. Look it up. But we'll definitely end with some affirmations that I'm going to whip together here quickly. And one of them definitely being that I appreciate everything about this moment. I love life. I love you. I love catnip. I know I kind of was like dragging through this little quick but seemingly long to do podcast. And I really think that catnip is going to help us learn our opposites, learn to appreciate our contrast, learn to love the bonds that we have, and appreciate the ones that we don't love as well, and learn our lessons from them with a beginner's mind. So on that note, you guys, welcome back to Ho, and welcome our herb of the week. I am excited to hang out with you and get to know you more. Catnip. This affirmation minute is brought to you by our cool herb of the week, catnip. I love life. I appreciate everything about this moment, even the contrast. I invite it all to be my teacher. My mind is open to learn and observe with innocence. I communicate through my heart and give birth to magical partnerships. I love life. I appreciate everything about this moment, even the contrast. I invite it all to be my teacher. My mind is open to learn and observe with innocence. I communicate through my heart and give birth to magical partnerships. And so it is.